It's funny we were talking about this, and I think from the outside, people who don't follow the internal governance of universities much and haven't thought as much about the complacency, maybe to some degree sclerosis of universities that you were trying to deal with. People remember you're taking on the BDS movement, the anti-Israel boycott movement, trying to get ROTC back on campus, other more politically charged issues. I want to talk about those, but I'm curious just to begin, which actually caused more trouble for you at Harvard, do you believe? Was it these sort of politically hot-button issues that you did speak out about and certainly were entitled to, it seems to me, as a university professor and president, and tried to take appropriate action on in one or two cases? Or was it the actual shaking up of the university itself and its internal governance and norms in terms of,
I'm not sure I can compare. I think it was both. I think that in retrospect, I chose to take on a large number of issues that involved running through goodwill. And someone who had been perhaps wiser, or certainly who had been committed to being in place longer, would have been more selective with respect to the battles that were taken on. And I think you can debate they all seemed very important to me. Great inflation seemed very important to me. The general question of the culture of comfort seemed very important to me. Questions like the university's estrangement from people who wear uniforms seemed very important to me, and I think the collectivity in a community that was committed to a certain way of doing things, and a community that did not lack for self-regard and thought of its president more as a cheerleader than as a social critic, led to the very substantial tensions that I had with members of the faculty. On the other hand, I look back and take great satisfaction from the really quite substantial changes, whether it was in making Harvard universally accessible and seen to be universally accessible to people, families with low incomes, or the huge expansion we mounted in the commitment to the life sciences, or the substantial increase in the amount of faculty contact that there was with undergraduates, or what was an important internal issue, the extent to which there was interaction between the different schools. For example, for the first time, the university came to have a common calendar. I look back at all of that, and I think a great deal happened that was important. And while certainly I didn't enjoy, and my family enjoyed even less, the degree of controversy that surrounded it all, I think a great deal of it was worth accepting controversy for, because I think what universities and what Harvard does in terms of education and research is hugely important, and it was able to do them in different ways as a consequence of some of the controversies we had during that time.
Talk about